Welcome back, everyone. We're trying something different, both in terms of what we're going to be doing today as well as the physical hardware. I'm testing out one of these little lapel mics. Now, I'm physically holding it, which is kind of obnoxious because I'm going to need both hands to do this. But I was trying it before the stream, and it doesn't seem to pick up audio very well if it's hooked onto the collar of my shirt. And even if it's in a position here, like where an actual lapel would be, doesn't seem to pick up the audio very well. So we're just going to make do. What we're trying out today is this is a sealed pool. We're not using this particular pack. I just had that laying around. This is a sealed pool that was submitted by one of my locals. Shout out to Tommy for that. What I've mentioned to all the locals after the announcements that sealed was going to be part of the competitive season is that if you win some packs, you open some packs, or you buy some packs, whatever, don't open them. Save up 6 of them and then just take a picture, like a literal picture, or load it into SWDB, which is what Tommy did, or whatever is necessary in order to actually practice the pool. So we're going to be taking a look at this today. I know I pulled, where did I put the pile of leaders? I must have accidentally scooped them up when I was trying to get the cards together. I went through my spare stuff, and then the rares I had to pull out of, and legendaries I had to pull out of, like actual boxes. And this is the equivalent of 6 packs, and we're going to try and build a 30 card deck out of this and see how we do. So without further ado, I'm going to clip this onto this cable. Hopefully that's really bad. I might have to dig out the other mic for this because that seems terrible. Long story short, we're going to run through this. We're going to try and build something and see if we can come up with a coherent list. Now, Tommy did... Oh, there's the leaders. They're over here. So Tommy did post what he felt was his worthwhile list. I don't know exactly how he got that. Like, for example, there's a Qui-Gon in here. I don't know if Qui-Gon can actually appear in packs, maybe as a hyperspace. But Qui-Gon was in there. It was noted that there were multiple third sisters in the packs, so we're short some leaders. You know, I probably could have pulled the mic away for that, but I'm sipping my tea. A little bit of extra caffeine today. So for those who are unaware, you get 6 packs. You crack them. You can use anything that's in the packs or any common base. So in this particular set, because it's LOF, you're going to have access to the common force bases. So if we decide that there's enough force things to justify doing it, we can go that route. If you want a rare base, you have to actually open it. You can include more than 3 copies. If you happen to open 7 copies of a particular thing and you're super excited by it, have fun. Now, I don't know where we're going to go with this pool. It is not organized in any particular fashion. As you can tell, I just literally went down the list and started pulling things. What I typically do, and I'm not a fan of sealed as a format. No disrespect to anybody who does enjoy it, but it is not how I enjoy playing card games. But I also kind of hate the constructed format right now, so it'll be a good break. Other caveat leading in, I have played literally goose egg 0 games of sealed with Star Wars Unlimited. I played tons of sealed in Magic. I played some sealed in the WoW TCG, and most of the other games that I played never really got to that point where it was always a format you could play, but nobody ever really played it. So it's been a few years since I played sealed. I could go into the reasons why I don't like it, but who cares? We're focusing on the build. Now, what I always liked to do, and admittedly, the formats for Magic was different. You had different requirements, quantity of cards in deck, the inclusion of land, that sort of thing. Technically, and we're going to preface this, you could play any card, and it just is a resource. And if you treat it like Magic, then, like say we're playing blue-yellow hero, and we have this Praetorian Guard. Well, it's green villain. Guess what? That card's always a resource, and it doesn't matter. Is that what we want to do? No, you'd rather have 30 playables, but that may not be an option. So what I tend to do is we're going to take a look, and these are theories about how I want to go about building the deck as far as Star Wars goes. I want to look at the leaders. I want to look at the rares and legendaries, which I expect to be hot garbage, but maybe there's a bomb in there where it's like, okay, this is a clear build around, and then try and find other bombs or completely unplayable. So because they're like easy cuts that you can go, yeah, I'm not going to play the double aspect things. Like I think one of the rares is Oppo Rancis, and he's kind of rancid. I mean, maybe this guy is worthwhile and constructed, but double green is going to be difficult. It's a 3/5. It gets all these abilities, but it's contingent on having the other abilities to begin with. And in sealed, when you can't build the deck around it, what are the odds that you're going to have all these things line up on the turn that you need it? And that's before you consider, like I said, that this is probably going to be a 6 cost guy because it's double green. Now, did open some other cool rares, but as far as leaders go, so we have Ahsoka, and the reason I'm starting here is because I think this will drive a lot of the list. It's like, okay, I could have a ton of playables in a particular color, but this is going to be a faster thing where I can try and say, okay, are there enough playables in these color combos to say this is justifiable to go this route? So we're at this point we're looking at blue white, as in vigilance hero. So by burning the force, she can give something sentinel, and then her on attack is give a unit sentinel. Like that is combat breaking, air quotes, when she deploys, but I'm not sure that it's worth it for the force generation. Third Sister is pretty aggressive. I do like Third Sister, at least hypothetically in constructed. It's never worked out. Hidden might be better in sealed because clearly well, I don't know that there's going to be more combat than there is otherwise, but it's possible, I guess. So I'm noticing the camera's a little. Feels like it's cockeyed. Like it's not. It's angled weird, whatever. I'm not going to shake the camera. So we have Kit Fisto, who requires a Jedi being attacking. So this is one that is a good example of like things that we could filter through the cards. Do we even have enough Jedi? Because if we do, this guy seems great to just pick things off, to just snipe stuff. The deploy is kind of whatever. I fully expect him, especially in limited, to be like a 2/6, a 3/6. But the leader side is pretty significant. Qui-Gon, he's a 7 deploy. I almost feel like, or excuse me, he's a 6 deploy. I thought he was 7. He's a 6 deploy. It would be kind of cute to set this up. It again is contingent on having enough enters play effects for it to matter. You could always reset damage, I guess, maybe, but I'm not super optimistic about that. And then we have Kanan. We notably didn't hit that many villain leaders, full stop. So we're kind of locked into hero stuff. So we can basically, if we don't see enough red villain stuff, we can eliminate all the red. We can eliminate all the villain cards, full stop. So I think we look at that first because we're just not going to have enough things to fill the deck. At least not with playables. It's possible that we could be, red X, like say red green because we have the guard sitting here, and then say, okay, well, if we have enough green villain, maybe it can work. But I'm going to need to see some things that are really impressive there. So we'll look for all the villain things first. So Kanan is give a shield with an action and a resource to a creature or specter. We'll have to see how. I mean, we're looking at an attuned Frynok right here, so maybe we'll have enough creatures. But my expectation is that these tribal synergies are not really going to come together in sealed. Taking a little caffeine break. All right, so like I said, I kind of want to look for villain first. So we're pinning the mic up. We're going to sort all the villain things here just to take a peek at all the villains. I didn't realize Nameless Terror was villain. For some reason, I thought it was neutral. So I obviously did not sort these ahead of time. And you won't have this much physical space, I expect, when you're doing this for real. So you got to be a little more organized. I could have done that and like brought the camera down. So it doesn't appear that, like, I'm only skimming this as I'm sorting it. I don't see anything that's like setting my world on fire for villain. And to my knowledge, off the top of my head, I can't think of any villain adjacent cards that like it's a neutral card, but it gets a buff if it's a villain. So like it doesn't matter. So we're looking at pull the mic back here so you can hear me a little better. So let me push these out of the way. Now maybe there was more efficient ways to do this. I want to do this the first time, and then we'll adapt from there. Honestly, this was kind of a pain in the neck to set up, so we'll see how many of these we do. But we have heavy missile gunship, 4/3 for 4. It does impact ground, but this is pretty slow. It's a repeatable effect. It only requires exhausting. So I mean, maybe HK-87 assassin droid, when defeated, deal 2 damage to each ground unit. So this could backfire, but sweeper effects are pretty powerful in general. But that's my magic influence talking. Thralls of the Coven is just a big dummy who punches good. Consumed by the dark side. Unfortunately, if this was worded differently, could function as removal, where if it did the damage, then gave the experience. I could see it, but I don't like this card. We actually hit 2 of those in the shadows. Give experience token to each of the 3 friendly units with hidden. Who cares? We didn't really hit very many hidden cards with this pool. You could Third Sister into in the shadows, but that requires playing like a 3-drop on her deploy turn, and then you only hit those 2, most likely. So, Inquisitor's Lightsaber is fine. Like, I think this actually would be pretty decent. If we had a leader to put on, like if it turned out Third Sister, it's still a +1/+3, which makes her fairly sturdy. She'd be a 6/7. I don't know that I really care. She'd also then, like, the ability is only for removal purposes, so I'm not like super excited by it, but it's a playable upgrade, I guess. Magistrate's Scout. Struggling. This is why I have the caffeine. 2/4 for 3, restore 2. I mean, it's a playable body. Nameless Terror. I actually might main deck this. This is the Force set. So if we hit like Sonic the Hedgehog, which I'm pretty sure is not in this pool, but and that's Topdeck or however you say it, the 5/5 that gains ambush. Like, I'm 100% playing that main deck. At worst, it's a 5/5, and at best, it's going to be a 2-for-1 because it's going to eat their guy and then generate more advantage. I'm 100% playing that guy. This is a little bit different because you have to have initiative, so you can exhaust their guy, but denying them force, like generating a force token, could be relevant. Additionally, them losing the force trait, meaning further denial of the force generation. I don't think there's anything off the top of my head that this set requires like force throw or force lightning where you have to have a force guy out. But it could be relevant for like a random lightsaber where it's attached to a force unit and it's no longer a force unit and it messes up their turn. Kind of unlikely, but you never know. Praetorian Guard, we talked about a little bit. Like, I would 100% play this, but it doesn't look like we have anything. And then Scythe, which is on attack. You may give another friendly Inquisitor unit +2 for this phase. So, like, the Third Sister is an Inquisitor, but, like, we just literally don't have that many villain cards. So I'm not sure that there's a big draw to be in villain right now. I think the Assassin Droid, maybe the Gunship. I mean, Scythe is probably, it's a 3/5 in space. Like, that might be good enough on its own, to be honest. Like, again, having not played Sealed in Star Wars Unlimited, it is a little weird, but the usual for limited, and this is more of a draft thing, but it's bombs, removal, evasion in that order. And then it's like average and drag or average and, whatever your acronym of choice is. But I don't feel any of these are really bombs. I mean, we kind of have removal here in the Assassin Droid, but the removal is really going to be in the event package. The evasion is where the space comes in. Now, it's not evasion in the sense of the way other card games do it, where, oh, I have a flyer. You specifically have to have a flyer in order to address it. However, space kind of is like that. If you have a space unit, you're most likely in this going to have a space unit in order to address them. So a 4/3 and a 3/5 are fairly decent. I haven't looked at a pool that much to determine, okay, is 3 a relevant breakpoint because everything does 2? Or is 5 a relevant breakpoint because everything does 4? Or, whatever. Because, for example, the heavy missile gunship is a 4-drop. It's a 4-3, but this N1 Starfighter is a 3-2, which means that their 2-drop can eat your 4-drop, and that is not that's going to be a terrible turn for you. So is the 4 health, the 3 health, the 4 health, the 5 health, whatever it is, where does that matter? We'll have to see. But right now, I'm not super enthusiastic about the villain stuff, so we're just going to kind of put this over on the side and get them out of here. So now we're looking at the remainder of the hero stuff. Well, hero and neutral. And again, I'm pinning the mic up. So if we look at, you could, probably the best way to sort this would be, actually by color. So you have all your vigilant stuff, you have this, but it's going to be too much to sort right now. I'm trying to find ways to break this down. Now, the risk of doing this in this fashion is we're going to miss overlapping synergies, or potentially miss them. Because we're going to run into this position where, and I did notice a bunch of creatures in there, so we're going to have to take a look at that. You're going to miss the potential for overlapping synergies where it's, okay, well, in a vacuum, this set and this set are not good enough to play together. Or play on their own, rather. But when put together, they actually cross a threshold that's relevant. So this is all the hero stuff. Here's the yellow stuff. One of them that would be missed here is creatures, because I did notice we have a number of creatures. We have some yellow ones, like we have double Tucata, we have double Lothcat, we have Graceful Purgle, we got the Raven and Gundark, the Wampa, the red. We could be blue-red creatures. There's enough. Although I do like the idea of Lothcat, and we do have Pounce. But I don't think Pounce is enough in this to justify it. I'm just pulling these aside because it's on topic at the moment. Now, is that enough? Shields are pretty good, but the problem is that this guy is a 4-2. If you don't have initiative, so I play a guy, you play a guy. Well, excuse me. You have initiative. You play a guy, I play a guy. You claim. Next turn, it goes, you attack, I attack, you play a guy, I play Tucata, has hidden, you claim, you just kill the Tucata. I will never get the shield on it. It means you're going to have to modify your turn, not just to underdrop on resource 4, but also so that you claim, potentially foregoing board position, because maybe you should have attacked into my guy, or losing the race because you didn't attack base. So it's something to consider on a lot of these, where a bunch of these creatures have very or comparatively low health. I mean, Purgle is a different story. But we'll come back to the creatures. Like I said, we do have a fair number, it seems like. Got to go through the rest and see. So, remember, we can play any common base. So we'll have to see what we can get out of here. Now, rare-wise, I mean, some of this is mixed in, but we have the T6 Shuttle 1974. This unit is attacked, you may give experience token to this unit. This is pretty good because it's going to be obnoxious to actually deal with. Your opponent actually has to have a 5 attack space unit. So I think this is very playable. Rey is probably playable. It is extremely unlikely that you're going to be able to set her up. So she's really just a 5/5 for 5 force unit. And force, of course, being a extremely relevant tag in this particular set. So I think that is worth it. Here's another. I didn't go through and do the double aspect things. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but this is kind of what I would do anyway. There's almost no way we're playing double red. And I don't think Paz Vizsla at 7 is any good. And again, Oppo Rancis probably do. So we're going to put them up there. The yellow, the stuff above the leaders up here, I'm going to say are either unplayable or unlikely to be played at the very least. The father, just because I'm looking at it. When you use the force, you may deal 1 damage to this unit. If you do, the force is with you. I mean, he costs 8. The big reason we'd be playing him is if we decided, hey, we want a 5/10 for 8, which is Probably unlikely. This Crate Dragon, this is not, although Crate costs 9, but you get the idea. This is not a must answer thing. He's just a big dummy with the Force trait. I don't even know that we'll have enough Force triggers to care, but we're probably going to say the father is doo-doo. Good thing I opened like 80 of them when I opened my boxes. But anyway, Eth Koth, absolutely playable, probably very good. Ramp is very good, sizable body. Could, of course, be traded up into, but like if we're in green, we're playing Eth Koth. Vernestra, probably playable. It's, at worst, it's a 3-4 for 3. It's like an on-rate unit. Yoda's Lightsaber, definitely playable. Put that in the green hero pile. N1 Starfighter, I'm pretty sure we got 2 of these, which makes me want to lean yellow. The potential to lead space like this, I don't know what the ratio is offhand, but I imagine that there is a heavier lean ground. Aside from this being the Force set, it's also not JTL. It's a variety of different ways to look at it. But the fact of the matter is that I would not be surprised to learn that the majority of the units are ground based rather than an even split. So having double early drops like that, you could go turn 1 Starfighter and your opponent just happens to never see a space unit, and you get in like 12 damage from this thing. Now that is potentially an issue where you give up the ground early, you're not contesting it early on, but I think that it is worth keeping this in your back pocket. We got a Jedi Knight. If you have the initiative, deal 2 damage to an enemy ground unit. You're never going to rely on this, but it's a 3/3 for 3, so it's a little bit under stat-wise what I would like, so I'm not thrilled with that. But Jedi Guardian, it's a 4/8. While it's defending, it's +2/+0. It's really just a big dum-dum. Similar to the father, but like you're getting most of the stats for 3 less costs, so I think this is playable at least. We got a little grungy action, definitely playable. J-type Nubian Starship, I do like that. It's a 2/4, so it's again going to be difficult. Like it is unlikely that your opponent's going to have out of hand just 1-for-1 removal. So if they want to shatter point something and they shatter point the starship, sure, that's frustrating. It's probably better that it hits the starship than it does, whatever your other relevant things are, but we'll have to see. Jedi Consular, I guess being a 1/4 means that it is likely to live and therefore generate you the Force. Following the path, search the top 8 cards of your deck for up to 2 Force cards, reveal them, put them on top of your deck. If this was into hand, I'd feel a lot better. Like it's fine, I guess. If we had like a big bomb Force unit, like if Oppo Rancis was actually good or the father was actually good, I think I'd consider it there. Attuned Frynok, notably also a creature, but it is a hero 4/1 hidden. As always, this is probably going to be good going first and be horrendous going second, but there's going to be dramatically less pings. Like if your opponent's playing Kit Fisto, it requires they attack with a Jedi, so that means you're going to get an action back, so you could always just send this guy into their Jedi. Now they'll get to ping your next guy, but the point is that this will trade up pretty effectively. It also will fit pretty well with Kanan in that you could play this on turn 3, and then it's a 4/1 shielded, which is not great. You probably want a 4/2 shielded, but a 4/1 shielded is absolutely acceptable for 3 resources. It's a multi-action thing, but the hidden means that it's not going to croak right away. Now for true hero, like neutral, we got Gungan Warrior. I like this thing a lot. That's definitely playable. 100% be in there. Volptex, I think that's playable. Jocasta New. When played, you may attach an upgrade on a friendly unit to a different eligible unit. Notably, you can shift like a shield or something like that, an experience token. So I think she's definitely playable. It's also a 3/4 for 3. So stat-wise, you're happy with that. Itinerant Warrior. There's not a lot need to be said about that. That's 100% getting played if we're in blue. Blue Squadron Assault Wing. It's a 5/5 with a raid 1. Like, that's pretty good. Longbeam Cruiser. 6/6 for 6 with Restore 1. I mean, these are finisher cards. I think that's playable. Probably. I hate having, excuse me, hiccups. I hate having these, like, higher cost things that are not immediate board impacting. But Quantity-wise, green wins out. Quality-wise, did we talk about the Paladin training Corvette? When played, you may give an experience token up to 3 force units. So that can matter when we were talking about the thing losing Nameless Terror, losing force traits. Like, that could screw up your turn. It's a 3/5, so it's a decent enough body, but compare that to the Scythe, which comes out a turn earlier. It's 3/5. Yellow just doesn't have the quantity that we're looking for. We'll see how much the other yellow playable cards are. I'm leaning green right now. I mean, we'll have to see. It's mostly because we do have, and we're going to need to look at the curve also, because you need to make sure that you're hitting a drop every turn if you can help it. So let's sort the rest of these. All right. So we're just going to do the rest of these by aspect because they're all neutral. So we got red, red, blue, that, red, blue, red. We missed a Gungan. Neutral, green, yellow. We do have a bunch of red stuff. Ooh, Secretive Sage is pretty good. We got a Degolian Master. The card draw and the body, meaningful for sure. Refugee, yellow, green, colorless. I know I'm doing this weird, but I always do this when I sort cards. I'm not looking forward to having to put all these cards back. I do I prefer sorting cards to opening packs, but I still don't want to have to do this. Also, we hit double pounce, which I didn't realize. I've joked about it before, but it's funny that they make pounce, and then this is a classic card game design thing. You make something like pounce where it's like, yeah, you really want to play yellow creatures, and then how many yellow creatures are there? Spoiler alert, there's literally 2 in the entire fucking game. So what are you going to do? All right, so neutral stuff mostly seems like ass. Notably, going to hiding doesn't actually give hidden. Porg is going to be terrible. Ravening Gundark is probably like the most playable of these. Its worst seems like, I mean, it's clearly it's worse than Vanquish, but we also didn't hit, I think it's a yellow card where it's like, I got a bad feeling or whatever. I forgot the name of the card, but like the other one that makes it cheaper or whatever. We didn't hit that card. So Ravening Gundark is probably the only thing playable in here. So those are likely going to go away. I already like the look of red because of Merrin. It can turn your worst card into a daring raid. Well, a pseudo daring raid, but it deals with both arenas. It's a thick force unit, comes out early. I'm liking this, but I want to look at green to see what do we got here. So right now, if I was looking at leaders, I would want to be on Kit Fisto or Kanan, probably, I think. So we do need to take note of how many Jedi are there to see if Kit works. And then creatures / Spectre. I don't think we hit any Spectres. There might be Spectre. All right, so green-wise, we have Kadu. Give another friendly unit Overwhelm. That's probably bad. It's just a 4/4 creature. Outer Rim Mystic, I think, is playable. It's a 2/6 for 3. It's just a big body. Pilio Star Compass. Search top 3 cards of your deck for a unit, reveal it, and draw it. It's card draw. Like, I do like this thing, but for 2, it's a little clunky. I'm not thrilled about that. Like that. Imagine playing that on like turn 3. It's like it takes your whole turn, isn't resource efficient. You probably, maybe you can trade up into something, trade down into something, like that doesn't seem great. Trident Assault Ship, it's 6/6 space with Overwhelm. I don't hate it. I mean, if we were going to play the Long Beam Cruiser, like this is reasonable. I already mentioned the Degolian Master. I really like this guy. I played a lot of it pre-Worlds when I was testing Talzin Green, and I think that there was something there. But I don't know that there is something there for this right now. We got to see how many Force tutors we have. We got a Minoc, which is a creature. Directed by the Force is with you. You may play a unit from your hand paying its cost. Okay, so we get the Force. It turns something into a young Padawan. And then we get Hyperspace Wayfarer. I think our neutrals kind of let us down here. Degolian Master is the highlight, but if we're in green blue, green, red, we need enough force things that we can reasonably expect to draw 2 cards off of it. Both so that we have the force when we play it and that we have the force when it dies. And I don't know that we're going to get that with either. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at the yellows. You got Disturbance of the Force. A friendly unit left play this phase. The force is with you. You may give a shield token to a unit. It's a weird combat trick. It's not really a combat trick, but like it's a weird trick. Psychometry. Choose another card in your discard pile. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for shares a trait. Chosen card and draw it. So like if we have enough force stuff, we could go get something. That's Force low. Give an exhausted unit -8. So they already got the value. And then you get to trade into it. It's entirely possible that you'll have to sink multiple attacks into the thing that they already got the value out of. I'm not thrilled with that. Will of the Force, it's a waylay, and then if you use the Force, they can discard a random card, so it's hypothetically removal. I mean, this is definitely playable. But 4 is kind of awkward. 3 lessons. Play a unit from your hand. It gains hidden. Give an experience token and a shield token to it. I mean, making something cost 2 extra, even with these abilities, is like, imagine we did that with the Goten Master. That makes it cost 7 to make it a 6/6. I mean, it's a 6/6 with a shield. It might be playable. It might be one of those, like, this is our 37th to 40th card. You may either exhaust a friendly unit or use the Force. If you do either, exhaust an enemy unit and draw a card. Okay. I'm not impressed with yellow. And I didn't see unit-wise like a lot of stuff where it's like we got like what Jocasta New is a when played. We got Nubian Starship as a when played. Point being is I don't think Qui-Gon's really in the running at this point. Let's take a look at the other ones. We just looking at the piles, we literally have more red cards than we do the other ones. So maybe we're going to be on red just because it'll give us the most options. All right, so we have Shatterpoint, definitely playable. Secret of Sage will 100% be in there, so I think we want to be in blue. Owen Lars also helps, so it's card draw, it's another body. Awakened Specters, you got 2 of them. These are not Force. I don't know why I thought they would be, but I kind of assumed they were. It's a 4/5 for 4, which I guess that's on rate. It's a Wampa. So, like, the Wampa has Overwhelm, doesn't it? I don't know. We'll see in a second. Watto is probably garbage. Actually, maybe in limited he's fine, just because he's going to be like impossible to kill, and your opponent's never going to want to kill it. And he'll probably attack 3 times. I don't know. I could see him being playable. I'm not sure. I hate this sort of card, but it might be playable. Tauntaun can give a shield when it dies. Like, we'll probably play those. There's 2, notably also creatures, and we have Graceful Purgle. Yeah, sure, whatever. We do need to be cognizant of our space presence. But we do have the shuttle in this color. We have the Purgle, but that's only 2 space units. It's only 2 space units. We have 1, 2 with the Hyperspace Wayfarer, 3 with the Minoc, 4 with the... I kind of, like, green is very interesting to me. Notably, I know this is kind of going out of sequence, but like Yoda's lightsaber doesn't have to be played on a Force unit. It can go on anything. Non-vehicle, that is. Which means that if we play like a random space squid, so now this thing is a 7/11 in space. Like, people joked about giving the space whales swords and guns, but in limited, I think that's not unreasonable. All right, let's take a look at red. Talked about Marin. Marin's definitely going to get played. Sorry. Oh, hiccup there. Ataru Onslaught, ready a Force unit, 4 less power. Sure, whatever, I don't care. Cartel Interceptor, I do kind of like. Blockade Runner is kind of cool. This thing could run away with a game. Actually, I don't know if this constitutes a bomb, but I think Blockade Runner could probably go nuts. Like, you just play a Blockade Runner, they don't answer it, and then if it attacks twice, the game is probably over. Aside from the fact that you've now dealt 9, it's now a 6/6 Saboteur in space. Like, what exactly are they doing to stop it, right? Like that is a must answer threat. I think that's very playable. Witch of the Mist with 2 of these, it's fine. The one attack is just really depressing. DRK Probe Droid, this 100% gets played. There will be random upgrades, and like at worst, you play it on curve. It's like, all right, it's a extremely middling body at best, but it has a potentially relevant upside. Infused Brawler, I really don't like this card. I think it's going to be extremely difficult to set up in this format, but it's still going to be a 4/4 for 2. Jedi in Hiding is definitely playable. Ravenous Rathtar, probably not good, but I mean, it might get played. Talked about the 2 katas. Hunting Nexu, it's probably not very good, but like you're going to play it. And then there is Wampa. It does in fact have Overwhelm. So I think we are definitely on hero. I think that there is a pull to red for Kit Fisto. We do need to check. How many Jedi do we have? Let's see. Hold on a second. Need both hands for this one. Rey is not a Jedi, notably, even though she is all the Jedi. So we have 1 Jedi. Do we have any? So these are the Jedi we're looking at right now. So we have 3 Jedi. If we go, well, 3 Jedi baseline. And if we go blue, we have 5. If we go green, can't unhook this. If we go green, we have 6 out of a 30 card deck. Given that it requires attacking with it, and your opponent's obviously going to prioritize killing it, excuse me, I feel like Kit is going to be an extremely difficult setup, which is kind of disappointing. On top of the fact that you have to underdrop. Now, you could play like Jedi in Hiding. Yeah, I just don't think you're ever going to get it to activate. Well, maybe not never, but it's just less likely. So we're not looking at Kit, I don't think. Because you can't even, like, you attack with the Jedi Consular. So that means that you're not going to be able to ramp with it. Yeah, I'm just not feeling Kit. So that lead, we already said Qui-Gon's kind of out. So I think we're looking at Kanan or Ahsoka. And personally, I would think Kanan. So what is his condition? So he's always shielded, and while you control another creature or specter, he's a 5/8. I think we can meet that condition kind of trivially. So we're clearly in blue, and then the question is probably going to be red or green. So we're going to move the yellow stuff. I think that we're not playing Refugee of the Path, I can tell you that much. The other hero stuff here, probably playable. The green stuff, we want to, how many creatures do we have? We got a Minoc. We got a Hyperspace. We've got a Kadu. So we only have 3 creatures, for what that's worth. I mean, we do have some baseline, but we don't have any specters. Those don't really come into play. But we do have card draw in the form of the Goyen. We do have some early game both force units and force generators. How many do we have in blue? We have force payoff. We also get additional draw with Owen. All right, let's take a look at red. So we talked about, we got Marin. I don't know how much synergy, I mean, okay, we got Ravenous Rathtar. Hold on, we gotta put the mic down again. I'm not liking this particular mic. I was kind of hoping that if I had it on my shirt, it would work, but... So we don't have a ton of things. One of the things that I didn't really mention earlier is that I do feel there are two things that you want with your leader turn. You need to make sure that your leader turn is powerful, overarching, but I think you want to have, like, in order to make that powerful, you want to drop your leader and then use it to protect a big play that you're making. So, like, Kanan comes out on 6. So, whatever your 6 drop is, like, say, the Rathtar, should be really good so that you can deploy Kanan, dirtle your turn so that you can kill off whatever they play or have played, and then play the Rathtar and go, okay, I have a excuse me, need a sip. So that you can say, I have a 5/8 leader, and I also have an 8/5 or 8/6, whatever Rathtar. Deal with both of them, and then you can ride that tempo through the rest of the game, or address their stuffs or whatever. And I think that we do have a line with Kanan that way. We don't really have that. I mean, we play like the Trident Assault Ship. I mean, if we take out Following the Path, because I don't think that's in the Starship and Directed by the Force. Green-wise, we're just looking at this, which doesn't seem great. It's the Consular, Gunji, Eathkoth, Yoda Lightsaber, Dagoyan as the Force pack. Well, and Outer Rim Mystic is the Force package. Creature-wise, we have 3 things, and then we have 2 ships, technically 3, with the Hyperspace Wanderer, which admittedly is another good creature for Kanan, because it's like, okay, I play a 4/10 in space. You're not killing that. Kanan's powered up. The Rathtar, comparatively, it's an 8/5. I was saying 6 earlier. It is much more vulnerable. But we do have, quantity-wise, more creatures in order to power up Kanan. The blue playables are whatever. Like, we've already decided, so it's really just... let's consolidate some of this so we have a little bit more room. The Ravening Gundark we might play, we might not. I think Ataru is extremely debatable. I don't think we have enough Force guys. It won't even ready Kanan. Cartel's playable, Blockade's playable, which I think is... like, Ataru, I'm going to say, is unplayable. But witches are possibly playable. We're going to play that. Infused might. Definitely play Rey. Definitely play Marin. I think we're going to play Jedi Knight, which sucks. Like, I really hate that card. I'm really concerned about our curve, to be honest. Man, some of these units just seem like they suck. Like, holy shit. All right, we're going to reorganize this into a different way to view this. So I'm going to do this in rows so that we can see and compare things a little more readily. So and I think we've decided that we're in on Kanan at this stage, so we're going to get rid of this other stuff. So we have no fours here, so that is kind of a gap. We got a ton of, oh, that's a four. We got a ton of threes in blue. We do have fours to fill in the gap, so I'm not, I mean, I don't love our fours right now, but 5-2. Owen's gonna fit in weird spots. All right, so I don't have a good sense offhand of like exactly how many twos versus threes versus fours, but you do want more low cost than high cost. You're always going to have a turn one, for example, but you might not have a turn six. Like the game may be over. So you want to ensure that you hit the curves. Um, we don't really care about what's going on in the hero part, but it is relevant in the sense of like, okay, we know that we have a literal gap here. So fours are relevant, but if we're deciding, and the reason I put it in this order is we're 100% playing stuff from this row. Well, maybe not specifically these cards, but like we're going to be playing hero cards. We're going to be playing blue because we're on Canaan. And the real comparison point here is, well, we have two fours and versus two fours. We have two fives versus two fives, two sixes versus 1-6, that sort of thing. Like, we don't have a top end for this deck, which means that we may be forced into playing shit like the Father. I know we said that it was in the unplayable pile, but this is where things start to come back and be like, okay, well, maybe we have to play this crap because we just don't have a choice. Or we need to find like a 5 cost that's relevant in another color that we're willing to play off aspect that could still be good. So, for example, is HK Assassin Droid good enough at 7? Probably not. But Thralls of the Coven, is that good enough at 7? Also, probably not. Scythe at 6? I don't know. Like, a lot of these seem pretty bad, overcosted, but maybe we have to reach. Let's see. Kadu is basically a vanilla. Our fours are better in red, I think. Our threes are clearly, we just have straight up more options in red. We have one extra, well, actually, we have the same. I'm not counting Yoda's lightsaber as a 2-drop. This is probably like a 5 at best. Like, I think we're forced into red because our, like, just literal quantity of cards kind of thing. It's mostly glutted at the 3, and our threes are not very good. Like, they're not very sturdy. Um, but we do have 2 space options. We have the shuttle and we have the interceptor at 3. Marin's pretty good. Yeah, I think we're in blue red, to be honest. As much as I thought we were going to be green initially, because like grungy is pretty cool. These things, like a 6/6 overwhelm in space, could take over the game on its own, but so could the blockade runner, and that comes out a turn earlier. So we need to hit 30 cards. So if we're on, let's say we're 100% playing 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe, probably these, but maybe we'll say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There's going to be a debate about, like, do we play the witches? Owen is almost certainly in the deck, even though we don't have that many force things. Like, and again, I think we might have to, wherever I put it, we might have to play the Father. Now I don't know where the hell I put that card. We might have to, just to have like a top end. It feels weird to not have the top end, but I think you could, instead of the Father, reach for like the long beam cruiser and the Blue Squadron assault ship and be better off there. Uh, Actually, as I'm saying that, yeah, you're 100% better off. I'd rather play a 6/6 on 6 than wait till 8 to play the father who does fucking nothing. Uh, you might play It's Worse. That feels horrendous. But it is just when you absolutely positively have to remove something, you don't have to worry about it. You just kill the thing. I think that there are some options here. I don't I don't know. I haven't seen enough pools to say I love this pool, I hate this pool, but this feels terrible right now. Like I just feel like we have a lot of bodies that do nothing, but you do have some tricks in terms of you can give a lot of your random idiot shields thanks to Kanan. Kanan will come out and be a goddamn monster because you have one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, possibly 11 creatures. Like a third of your deck powers up Kanan. And some of these will be more of a challenge to eliminate than others. And on resource 6, you could dirtle your turn, even if you're just, air quotes, just dropping Wampa. Like, okay, you play that last, and all of a sudden you still have a 6/8 leader or 5/8 leader that's shielded that comes out and kills their best guy. And maybe they can then deal with the Wampa, but like, okay, you get another turn to then play some of these other guys. Um, I would have liked to have been able to be in green so that we could play the Hyperspace Wanderer because that thing is enormous, but you can't have everything. So that's kind of how I would build this. I know it's not the exact list, and we're not going through and like really debating the cards, but this one feels pretty straightforward to me. And hopefully, I explain my thought process enough. Let me know what you think. Um, if you want to see more of these, like I said, it was kind of a pain in the neck to collect all these cards. And like I said, I don't feel like sorting them back, but I just cleaned off the desk to do this. So now I'm going to be compelled to clean it off again to get all the cards back to where they belong. But yeah, let me know if you would have built it differently or what your thoughts are. But that's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And tune in next time for more random thoughts.